Well, hello everybody, how are you today? It's Sharon here, live on Essential Stencils page, and you may be noticing I've got a different background today, so let me know where you're tuning in from, and if you're watching the replay of our live, don't forget to comment the word replay, because you will have a chance to win some prizes, or a prize from Essential Stencil within the 24 hours after our live goes live. So, how are you? Let me just find our live over here on the page, or I might have to refresh that and let me know where you're watching from today. It is almost Christmas, guys. We are nearly there. Let us see. Hang on a second. There I am in my workshop. So I'm in my workshop in the garage today, you all. And you can see behind me the tools. Elisa's here from really chilly Florida. So I'm from Queensland, Australia, and we get similar to Florida weather over here, but on the flip side of the seasons, because in Australia we are down south of the equator, and so we're getting our summer now. We have summer Christmases. Yes, it's the hottest time of year for us here, but we're actually having cool days. It's not too bad. I do have a fan going in the background of our garage here. Hi Deb, how are you? From Iowa. Let me pop my glasses on so I can see you. So yes, in a different location. The living room table's been taken up. My couple of sons, both of my boys are up from Melbourne, and they're doing working from home days today. So it is 11 o'clock here in Queensland on Thursday. Oh, how many days till Christmas? Only a few days left. Who else is getting excited? Who else has finished all their Christmas shopping? Hi Diana, hi Kathy, hi Eva. Thank you so much for jumping on and saying hello. Don't forget that you can follow me at I Restore Stuff on any of your social media platforms that you like to follow. I love hanging out on Instagram, Facebook a little bit. I've got a Pinterest account, YouTube channel. Don't forget to do this, guys. We love it when you share our lives with other people so that they can get their DIY on and start crafting using the fun Essential Stencil products. And of course, my code is at the top here. Just use the code I Restore Stuff, because that's what I love to do. So that's my business name. And my name's Sharon. If you've never followed here before, hi Renee, how are you? And friends, of course, everybody's here. Maggie's here, Kathy's here. I feel like there's a bunch of regulars that jump on each live, and it's so exciting. It's so good to have you all here. Now, in the mail this week, I received some happy mail. So excited. As an ambassador for Essential Stencils, we like to try and promote these products and show you these products and how they can work before they actually get to you. So if you took advantage of the bundle this week, the Valentine St. Patrick's Day bundle this week, they've all sold out, and the bundle finished, I think, yesterday anyway, so they probably sold out just in time, but there are still some stencil sets within the bundle that are available, and I'm going to be showing you some of those today. First of all, the transfers. Don't we all love the transfers that Essential Stencil is putting out at the moment? This is the Roses transfer, so I want to use those in a project today. I have two projects going. One involves upcycling this bowl. You've all seen these bamboo kind of bowls, and I've painted the outside in chalk paint, and I want to pop some transfers on that. The other transfer set here is the gorgeous gnomes and the horseshoes. You could use that for all sorts of things. Cute gnomes down the bottom there. So for St. Patrick's Day coming up in March, so we want to get crafting for Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day early, so we get those stencils to you, then you can do your crafting, give them away, sell them, whatever you do. Kathy says it looks so organized, unlike mine. Well, Kathy, you're just seeing this much. Let me just tell you that. You're just seeing this much. All right, the other sets that you may have got if you ordered the bundle are the Valentine's Gnome mini tags. So there's, of course, that they go with the wooden tags that Essential Stencil also has available on their website. Lots of fun crafts you can do with those. Tracy, you just got your bundle today. Fantastic. That's awesome. And thank you so much for sprinkling and sharing the love. You just hit that little share button down there and send it out to Facebook land to let them know we're live here and showing you projects, and you could win prizes, so stay tuned and join in the conversation. because that's where we pick the prize winners from. Tammy says, gosh, I'm not that far ahead yet. I guess I should be though. Yeah, well, a lot of our crafters who watch these lives and look for inspiration and direction are getting their crafting thoughts ahead of time, because before you know it, it'll be Christmas again, and you'll have to get all your Christmas stencils out. So we've got Valentine's set here, which this one Melissa used yesterday, and it's called Love Like Jesus. I love that it fits a Valentine's theme, as well as just that it can be used all year round. This set actually sold out yesterday. So Essential Stencil has told me though that you are able to order it probably next week. It will be back in stock. They're getting a quick order done just so that you can order this one especially, but it's got some beautiful trust the Lord with all your heart, do everything in love, love like Jesus, rooted and established in love. But the greatest of these is love, and God knew my heart needed you. And then there's a bonus, so it's a 6-pack, but there's actually 7 stencils in it. The bonus is this gorgeous cartoony style heart design. Now, the 2 sets that I'll be using today are the confetti set, which you may have seen Melissa use that one yesterday too. I'll be using a couple out of this one. So we've got the ribbons here. You can use it this way or that way. I'll be showing you a couple of different ones out of this that you can use. I'm actually going to use, thank you Carolyn for sprinkling. Look at this one, just looks like an explosion of confetti. Now you could use this for New Year's, you could use it for Valentine's, you could use it for birthdays, parties, anything. So many different uses for these confetti, and it's a 3-pack. So there are still some of these available on Essential Stencil website, but guys, we're getting down to low numbers of some of these that were included in the bundle, because a lot of you took advantage of that bundle. But if you didn't get the bundle and just wanting 1 or 2 things from the bundle, these confetti sprinkles, great for all year round. There's about 39 or so of those left in stock. And the last set is Be Mine, which is a 6-pack, again another bonus, so there's actually 7 in the set. Now let me just show you these really quickly. We have, this is the bonus one right here, Amore. So hello, thank you for those, Colleen, hi. And Be Painting with Becca, hello. Hi Deb, cold evening in Indiana. And you ordered the bundle too. So those of you who ordered the bundle, you'll be seeing some of what you can do with those today. So let's have a look at some of the other ones we've got. We've got Happy Valentine's Day. I think I might add that to my stencil project today. And we've got Love. Now this one also I thought would be great as a bit of a confetti style, you know, with the confetti sets. You could use this Love in a similar way, because it does look like confetti coming down similar to these. So you could use that. We've got Be Mine, cute Valentine's heart there. We have Love, let's see, that's backward, with the gorgeous buffalo check in the heart. And then we've got one of these, really cute heart, kind of cartoon style heart there. And then you've got the I Love You with this gorgeous flourishy design in the heart. Now, of course, you can switch some of these out with that flourish one. You could switch the heart out here for the little checkered one. You could do all sorts of different ideas, mix and match them. That's the idea here at Essential Stencil. We love to mix and match. And so those are the Be Mine, and again, last quantities available of those. There's about 30 something left of those, but Essential Stencil has got the link there for ordering anything from the new collection today. So let's have a look at what we've got. I'll put some of these things away that I won't be using today and leave out the things that I will be using. So I want to put my roses aside. I'll show you some of that while this other set is drying here today. I've got my handy envelope, so if you're new to stenciling, you just need a piece of cardboard, a paper plate, paper towel, something to offload your brush on. It's one of the key important parts to stenciling. Right, excuse me if I keep sipping my water today. I have had a cold last week, so we've got those little niggly throat tickles. All right, what I'm using today to stencil on is just this plain piece of ply board. It's quite a thin ply. That's the size of it there. You could use these as a sideways sign. You could put it within a frame. You could just simply hang string, cut 2 holes in it, hang string at the back of it, or you could just place a little, picture hanger on the back to hang it with. I've just painted mine in Victorian Lace, which is a fusion mineral paint colour, just a white background. I tossed over doing a dark background, but I saw Melissa did a dark background yesterday with the confetti, so I'll do it with a white background today and see what we can come up with. So, as often is the case, love to wing it here on Essential Stencil Lives. Let's see, hopefully I haven't got too much shadow and too much bright light there. It's white on white. Maybe you can see that better if I do it this way onto the cardstock here. If I flip this over, what have we got? Oops. There we go. So I've painted that, and I'm going to be using this as a vertical sign. So instead of going sideways like this, although there's so many ideas. Look, with this confetti, let me just show you, for example, the confetti sprinkles here. Oh, where's my other one? Here it is. Let's show you the one with the ribbons in it. So you could place this going all the way across sideways on your sign and have it just draping down from the top, and then you can add your words of stencils coming in that way. Today I want to show you an idea of just doing this one at the top, and I'm going to add the this one because they're very similar. So we've got our, what do you call that? It looks like almost you could use it as snow as well. See this? If you did snow on a dark background, that would be beautiful too. So they've got the similar dots there. This one has the ribbons and this one has the without the ribbons, and it just has the dots. But I think it's a lovely idea of just that coming up, this going down, and popping our sign, Valentine sign, right here in the middle. So I've painted my white background. Let's have a look at this. So now you can see here that it doesn't fully go to the end of my board. And my board, I did post the measurements across here of what the distance is. So it's going to be obviously a little bit larger than 6 inches. And so the board is maybe 6.5 inches. And so you've got that gap either side. So I want to fill up that gap because you've also got some gap here on the actual stencil itself. See how there's this wide gap right here? So I want my stencil to run the full length. Excuse me. So we could start here, or we could go in the center and then continue on the outsides, but I'm going to start right across the finish, and I want my my stencil to reach right at the very top. And I'm going to be using Fusion Mineral Paints Metallic in Metallic Vintage Gold. So you can see that there, that's Vintage Gold. They have some beautiful metallics. If you do want my affiliate link for Fusion, I can pop that in. Just let me know in the comments of where you can get that. I'm just going to use one of the smaller brushes. Now the brushes come in a set of 4, and 1/2 inch I believe is the smallest brush we have. So I've got my pot of paint here with a bunch in the lid. I've shaken up the metallics. So metallics are a little bit different to use. They've got lots of, well, these ones do have a high mica pigment content, and so sometimes it'll look if you're trying to do a nice smooth, if I was going to paint the board in metallics, you would want to go all the same way direction with your brush. That's a tip there for anyone, trying to paint a solid piece of furniture, for example, or the backing of a sign, because those little tiny miniature mica flakes, they tend to go one way or the other. It's kind of like when you put brush velvet one way and then brush it the other way. Okay, I'm not using any painter's tape because we have got a bit of distance around the edge of our stencil. And I'm dipping my brush back in there. You can see it there. I don't want too much on my brush, but I do want to offload it, making sure that I've got enough on the brush to see the metallic look in there, and that metallic on a white background is makes it stand out. It also looks just beautiful on a dark background also. You know, if we had to use some midnight blue or something like that. So let me know, are you guys, oh, the computer's come up with some kind of software update. I don't want that to happen right now. Kristen, you're saying you're disappointed you couldn't purchase the scripture stencils. They will be available. So I just mentioned that before. I checked with Essential Stencils. They are putting those back in stock. They're doing a quick manufacture to get those back in and available, I believe next week, that they will be available for you. So you will be able to order those. We don't like you disappointed, because I really think those ones are going to be so popular for all year round. Yes, they said we have a shipment arriving soon, so don't be disappointed. It's so hard for them to know, you know, it's a bit like a guessing game of what's going to be popular and what's not. And I can tell you right now, those scripture ones are going to be very popular. So they're just so great for all year round, aren't they? All right, this would be great for birthday parties. So this same idea that I'm doing today, you could pop in using some of our Essential Stencils, little letter stencils. If you type in the word letter or lettering or letters or alphabet, you will find a bunch of different stencil sizes and types for creating your own words. So you could put the birthday person's name in here, and then you can have your confetti and streamers coming down. Would make great for a party. So these boards are just offcuts from a piece of plywood I had. And they make for really simple, easy signs for parties that you can reuse over again, because you just can sand it off and repaint it. It's just paint, and you can use it for another occasion. So I feel like I just need to fill this out a little bit more. And remember, you can always add more. If your coats look a little bit too thin, you can always add more later in a second coat. All right, let's see how that turned out. Beautiful. Now, sometimes this is really tricky to see on video camera, but you can see the light is shimmering on that metallic there now. So that is called Vintage Gold by Fusion Mineral Paint, and it's a lovely metallic. So now I'm going to go over this on this side, just adding a bit more. I want to make it so that it's a good distance, spaced apart correctly, you know, as best as we can get. I will put a bit of tape on it now just to keep that a little bit more secure down the bottom there. So I want to measure it. I'm putting it right up the top here. Maybe I just need a little bit more, and some of those little, I call them bubbles, little circles will go off the edge, but that's okay. Okay, once again, adding paint to the brush and then offloading it. So I've just seen underneath, you could see through the mylar. That's what I love about these stencils. Great quality mylar, but you can see through it underneath where your stencil finished off. And if you didn't want those bubbles to come off the end, and you'd like just the ones to stay on the board, if you don't want them to go off the edge, you can always tape them off. Tape them over. All right, and so there we go. We've just made that extend to there. So you can see the top there. It goes now right across. So hardly looks like we've got any gap, you know, anywhere. So you can blend them and join them up together. And now we're going onto the bottom, and I'm using the other confetti stencil, but we're making it come up this way, so it kind of gives it a nice border, so to speak. All right, so again, I'm pushing this right across to the edge here. We've got the links to these stencils on the top there, where you can find any of the latest stencils, the Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day stencils. Got a link there for you. Now we're making this confetti come upwards. Now these dots I think are just a little bit smaller than the ones on the top stencil that I just did. See how I'm doing swirly motions? The only reason I can do that swirl and not be afraid of it going underneath is because I've offloaded all my metallic paint onto the cardboard right here. And this is literally just the packaging that my stencils arrived in. So you can cut up your cardboard, recycle it, use it for offloading your paints. This one seems to be going a lot faster. Maybe it's those dots are a little bit smaller and we don't have the ribbons as well. But these ones stretch out further too, so we've got these coming right down over here. What I could have done is centered this a little bit more, because I didn't think about it until right now when it's too late, that this little arch here probably should have been a little bit more centered, but that's okay. You can learn from me. Let me make the mistakes for you. Always happy to do that for you, no problem. And then you know what not to do and how to do it better. So if I was doing this again, I would probably center the stencil and then let it go. So, oh, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. That's going to look cute. So I kind of feel like I need to do this idea of just, you know, adding that there, because if I do this, it'll be, we may just have, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. We can do it this way, and then we can add some more coming in here. All right, so we're just going to make up for my errors of my ways. So adding this, once again, dabbing my paint in. These ones going really close to the edge there, because we want to make it look like the confetti is all over and it's coming right off the edge. So. There we go. So it's not too bad. We could have some more dots coming down here. I'll show you that so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Oh, because the light is so bright. So see how there's the archway from the stencil pattern that should be probably more central, but it's kind of gone off to the side, and then I've added the extra right here. So if you were doing it, how would you do it? Would you make it more central, or do you think that looks okay? I think it doesn't really matter too much. It's not going to be that noticeable, but if you do want to add the extra, we could just sort of place your stencil anywhere really and add a little bit extra right here, for example. Let me see if I can just wing it and do that for you to show you the addition of some extra bubbles right here. And then that kind of brings in that, yeah, we've got a couple that are a little bit too close. Now I can't see exactly where they were. Here we go. Where are they? There's one. They're so tiny it's really hard to see. Need to get these ones over here. Yes, it's not too bad. And then if you wanted to fill these out, we could do the same kind of a thing over here. Just adding a couple more on the end there so that that gap is filled. But see how you could just move these around and create your own lots of sprinkles. There we go. Oh, the bright light. There you go. You can kind of see that confetti look. And now at the top, we've got the ribbons. So then in the center, we're going to pop our sign. And I want to use a nice dark color to do the words, and then I may just pop over the top of that dark colour with that vintage gold. So that's the colour vintage gold. I'm going to pop it in a wet cloth right here, and I'm going to use midnight blue, and then we'll add our Valentine sign in here. Good. Kristen says it looks perfect. Kathy says it looks great. Make sure I've got my sign around the right way. So we've got our ribbons coming down this way and this one coming up this way. So see how you could just see it says happy day. You could add, you know, anything in there. Valentine's Day. Like I said, you could create someone's name using that. Let me see if I can pop it down a little bit further. Don't know if that helps. It's bright light coming down onto white board. Okay, so I've got this is midnight blue, so Fusion Mineral Paint midnight blue. It's just a really lovely dark blue colour. I use it for painting furniture, but you can use it for so many other things, crafting, signboards and so on. Okay, so I'm dipping my brush. Look, there's way too much on the brush, so we wipe it off onto the edge of our pot here so we don't waste a whole bunch. And then I want to offload just where there's a spare piece of cardboard here. And you, at the same time as offloading, you're sort of working it into the bottom of the bristles. Okay, now this S comes a little close to the edge to where I may accidentally get my dark blue paint on the edges of the... And it's giving good coverage, but if you did need a second coat, it's always better to go back and do a second coat rather than think, oh, I haven't got enough on my brush. I think I'll put a little bit more on my brush, because inevitably if you have too much on your brush, it will actually bleed underneath the stencil and you'll get those fuzzy edges. And 99% of the time it's just those fuzzy edges are caused because there's just too much paint on the brush. I might even shadow this with that metallic paint. I think it would look lovely. You could also use, and I did bring some red paint. Oh, I could have done my hearts red. You can always go over the top of it and do those red. Brought a red paint out here just for that. Wasn't really thinking. Of course we want Valentine's red. We could maybe shadow that with the red and the metallics. That will make a nice base coat of this midnight blue. And we could add some more of the confetti stencil around as well. And don't forget, in this, if you missed earlier, if you've just joined, this is the Be Mine Valentine set where there's 6 plus a bonus, so there's actually 7 stencils in here. So you could put any of these in the middle here. You could put the Amore, you could put the big heart, we've got the I love you. Any of these could go in the center. That bonus one though is so cute, this bonus one here. Oh no, that's not the bonus, Amore is. But this one with the hearts, you could use that as your excuse me, as your confetti. Dear me. Caught in my throat. Whoop. Rub that off. Hopefully I haven't got too much on there. Okay, moment of truth. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry a minute and show you this second project that I've got going on over here. Excuse me, guys. Okay, here's our bowl, bamboo bowl. I'm going to pop this brush in the wet cloth. Set this aside. And all of the links to our stencil that I'm using today are in the description of the live. Oh, it is aggravating, Janet. It's so aggravating. And sometimes I end up in these coughing fits and you're just like, ah, panic. I don't know what to do, especially while I'm live. Here is our roses. And the package includes two 12 by 16 sign transfer sheets. So, and they pair perfectly with the stencil sets. All right, I'll show you those two, so you've got an idea. Some of them do repeat, so you can see this is a beautiful bouquet right here in the center, and there's also one over here. But this one has a large dark red rose, this one has a smaller one. So they're just all different sizes, and even some of these leaves and sprigs, you can actually, you know, take that one, cut that one out and use it with something different. We've got this gorgeous red sprig here and a fern. So some of these you can use with other sets. We've got, these look like rose leaves right here as well. So some of them you can use with other sets. What I've done with this bowl is I've just painted it with some chalk paint. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's got these sort of like, it might have been some kind of an oily patch, or I sat it on some kind of oil. And because chalk paint is different than mineral paint, it's a porous finish. You may not be able to see that that's pink also. I think it depends on the light. So if I hold it up here, maybe you can see that that's pink. It's like this dusky kind of pink color. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful set. Okay, so I've got my tool that comes with your set, and then I forgot to get scissors, but lucky I'm in my workshop and there's some here that are right behind me. So what I'm going to do is start to just cut out some of the transfer designs, and I won't put all of these and fillet the entire thing today on our live, but I just wanted to show you this great upcycle idea. And then once it's finished, you can seal it. So what I'm going to do is, so because it's got that sort of little patch there, we want to cover that up. The bowl will be sitting sort of sideways, if you can, you know, on a bench, and imagine it filled with fun things, but you'll be able to see just the roses on here. So the base doesn't really matter so much that we cover that, but I do want to kind of go over the edges so we know that, you know, that's going to be covered right there. All right, because we're working with sort of round surfaces, I'll show you how to do that and deal with it, how to deal with that, because it can be tricky. Flat surfaces, nice and easy. But curved surfaces, we just have to remove our backing there, as with any surfaces, but just so that you can see. Now I'm going to see where this comes to at the top, so I'll start from the top and let it flow to down the bottom. So can we see that there? Let me see if I've got it in the right. And then there's a slight lip on our bowl here, so I want to rub that down, and I'm just going to hold on tight to those surfaces. I don't know if I can do this. Hold that there. There we go. That's holding it, so I can do that. All right. Let's see if that will come off nice and easily there. I'm sort of working upside down here, but we are working on upcycling a bowl. Now this will come down, but I'm going to have to remove the top section first and then get this to come down over the edge. You can hear the plastic rumbling. So let's see if we can lift that slightly and have that come off. And yes, it's coming off nicely. If you notice that it's still not coming off properly, just lay it back down and put it off there. Let me see how close we are. This is very tricky trying to do it upside down here for you. But It's happening. And you could work, see how I'm just sort of working on this one side here. We can get that going. Doing a little bit of lifting. Now that leaf isn't going down, so we just rub it a bit further. Now it's happening. You can see our leaves going down now. Oh. Who else is loving these transfers? Love the roses idea. Fairly easy to remove. It really does depend on the surface. I still haven't figured out you know, which surfaces are better for the transfers and which aren't. You know, this is chalk paint that I'm putting it on top of, which is quite a porous surface, and so it does seem to be sticking really well to the chalk paint, and it does well on the fusion paint too. Sometimes, probably depending on the raw wood surface that you might use, if you wanted to put it onto raw wood surfaces, they can be a little bit more tricky. Let's see if I can help you see this sideways if I go from this way. So see how as I go, we're just slightly lifting that, pulling it away from the surface. And if I see it lifting, like I see it lifting over here, and it hasn't stuck down to the surface yet, getting it on that curve. I feel like this is at such an awkward angle for me. I hope you're able to see it visually. Janet, you haven't worked with your transfers yet. It's coming off just beautifully on this chalk paint. So we will keep going, and you can see that on here, and then I will finish off my other sign project, which is coming along nicely and drying over here beside me. So I've got this big bump kind of thing happening here. You can see the plastic bubbling up there. So let's see if I can move over this way now and start coming up from this side. Coming off. So then we can just pop some roses all the way around here and make a gorgeous feature. You can add this bowl to, say, a tiered tray or something like that. That would be a lovely thing for Valentine's. Also, just in general, like imagine Mother's Day. This would be beautiful for a Mother's Day gift idea. Changing up some of these old retro bowls. Probably got this in an op shop or thrift store. We call them op shops here. Just grabbed it in a thrift store for like a couple of bucks. Too easy. All right, so that's lifting nicely now, and I've still got just this leaf down here that may or may not bubble up. I think, oh, it's all coming off really quickly. So now just going over that curved surface, and as we lift, you're just making sure that it's all coming off and there's nothing left stuck to the plastic. Coming back from this way, I think we've got it, and I can see just a slight wrinkle there where it may have torn, but we just rub it over with our fingers, and I just love the way the transfers feel. If you've never done the transfers before, oh my goodness, you just feel like you've just added that extra dimension to your signs and your sign making. Yeah, there's just a little crack right there, but oh, maybe it's not, maybe it's the leaf. I mean the petal. Petal. So there it is, that side, and can you imagine that just sitting on a tiered tray, fill it with all sorts of, I don't know, you could fill it with flowers, you could fill it with greenery, you could fill it with Mum could fill it with knitting for Mother's Day or something like that. So it looks just beautifully hand painted. So now when I finish that and when I get all of the transfers that I want on here, so say I fill it up, I add some more. So it's just simply a matter of cutting out the rows, adding another one here or there. So once you've finished all of that, then you'd want to seal it with something like Fusion's matte tough coat sealer, or if you want a gloss finish, you can use a gloss sealer. Make sure it's a non-yellowing sealer, like an acrylic-based resin type sealer. And, all right, back to finish off our project here. We've got our gorgeous stencil in the middle. We've got our confetti coming from the top and confetti coming up from the bottom. You can see that just when I put it, that it's a nice metallic shade. And I want to grab my red, and I would like to maybe do some, maybe Valentine's in red and some metallic. So we're going over the top of the navy, but I might shift it slightly so that it creates a shadow. So if I put this exactly where the stencil was to begin with, here it is. If I was going to go over the top of it, there we go. That's where the stencil is sitting now. To do a shadow, you would just move it slightly up and slightly to one side, and you can see that white gap in there. So I'm going to place that down now so that I've got it fully covered. And that was using our blue. So now I'm going to grab a different brush and use some metallics. Or should we do the hearts around, and I'll do the Valentines in like a metallic. I'll do the Valentines in metallic, which I already have that brush, so I'll use the red for going around the hearts. Okay, so this is the brush that I had earlier with the metallic vintage gold by Fusion Mineral Paint. Offloading that brush onto here. Let's see if we can do our Valentines. Now, I could go ahead and tape off the areas where I don't want the metallic to hit. I'm just going to try really hard to not get those areas, and I want to do those other areas red. So we've got a bit of red, we've got a bit of metallic going on here. This is the colour Vintage Gold, and it is really a lovely old gold look. So if you did want extra coats on this, it's always better to do 2 coats rather than have too much on your brush, as I mentioned earlier. And if you do want my affiliate link for Fusion, I can pop that in the comments. Just ask in the comments there. Alright, so we've got our Valentine's word with a bit of a shadow of metallic there, so that'll kind of make it pop a bit 3D. You can imagine that confetti, you could just literally make that go all the background as well, because it really does make a lovely background. And again, there's that other confetti, it's a 3-pack set, so there's this explosion which is just gorgeous as well, would make a nice background. So I can see, I don't know if you can see where the blue finishes in that, inside that, but hopefully it all works out great. If I do need extra gold, I can always go back over and add more later. This is the colour Highlander. The Fusion Mineral Paint does come in these little sample pots. Because I use them for painting furniture, I get the big pots. I do stock these here in Australia. But with the smaller pots, they are perfect for crafting and perfect for these stencil sizes. So you can order just little mini pots, especially if you're just going to be doing stenciling signs with them. Okay, adding some red. And now the trickiness thing about this is it's all experimental for me right now. The red and the blue both have they're both dark tones. So you may or may not see the shadowing effect on here as well as if you were doing 2 contrasting colours. So we're just going to try it though, see what it looks like. And again, this red particularly, the Midnight Blue has great coverage, but the reds and blues, sometimes those more highly pigmented colours are actually a little bit more transparent, and you can sort of see that you will need a couple of coats. So, but you could also just leave it a straight one colour. You don't have to do a shadowing at all. Little lump there. Okay, we've got our hearts. So it sort of makes them a deeper red, but then we've got that blue shadow. The blue is the first color that went down, so that becomes your shadow automatically. You could switch these around and do red underneath and then blue on top, because the blue actually has a better coverage. That might work better. So it's a matter of experimenting and practicing. And see, things like this cardboard cardstock that the stencils actually come in, I keep mine. And you know, even the blue envelopes, if you're in the Stencil of the Month Club, keep those and turn them inside out and just practice your sign making on them. Practice a technique, practice your shadowing, practice anything that you're trying for the first time, brand new. Practice on the cardboard first. That's what I always encourage. Whoop. Nearly finished. Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, I do love doing a bit of shadowing. I'm doing a second coat here, but I probably should wait until it's really super dry. It's better to do, you know, wait till it's dry and then come back and do that second coat, because sometimes you can pull off the first coat if it's not quite dry, and that's, you know, can lead to disasters. But here I am just winging it and practicing with you live here on Essential Stencil. Don't forget to share our live if you know someone who loves crafting as much as we do. We love adding more people to our community. Let's see if I can grab this side off. And there we have a gorgeous Valentine stencil idea, sign idea. But again, like I was saying, we could use this same concept with the confetti for a birthday sign. You could pop someone's name in the center using some of the Essential Stencil lettering sets, full alphabets we've got there. So there we've got Happy Valentine's. I've got the metallic there. I don't know if you can see that shadowing. We've got the dark blue underneath. Kind of makes it pop a little bit, but you can choose your colors however you like. And you could do, you know, just the Valentine's shadowed and leave the rest plain. You could do it all sorts of different ways. So there we go. We've got the confetti underneath, and because that's metallic, it's kind of shimmery and shiny in the light. The plain confetti down the bottom, and then the confetti with the ribbon we've got up the top there. So if you missed how I added those at the beginning to just create a bit of an overlay, you'll be able to see that. And don't go anywhere, because we've got prize winners to pick any second now. And don't forget those gorgeous rose transfers. So here's one that I've done today. I'm going to add some more around there, seal it up, and it'll make a nice fun feature for a tiered tray setting for Valentine's or Mother's Day or any special birthday occasion. Imagine the possibilities with those rose transfers. So there's that. Don't forget those two stencil sets, the confetti and the Valentine one that I showed you today. There was only about 30 of those left. So if you do want any of those, that confetti one year round, happy Valentine's Day. You can see all of the different sets that are in there when you click on the link. So let me congratulate our winners today. We've got Cindy, Susan and Grace. Cindy, Susan and Grace, thank you so much everybody for watching today. And I won't be with you next week because we are on holidays. We're having a family holiday on vacation. So next week, someone else might be with you. But I will see you the following week in the brand new year. So I won't see you until next year, my friends. But I am so excited for Christmas, and I hope you are too. Wishing you all a very, very Merry Christmas. Enjoy your time with family and loved ones. Take advantage of those special moments that we have. And till next time. Thank you all so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Congratulations, the winners. Merry Christmas. Bye.